And welcome back to the Unfiltered Sports Weekly. I'm the Beebs.
My name's Kev.
St. Joe and Hizzy.
Fellas, how are you doing? We've already touched on the subject that Keb is quiet. Okay, so you get to enjoy a quiet Keb tonight. Right, St. Joe?
I don't think I'm very quiet.
I don't think he'll be quiet for long.
Some tells me that's going to last very long.
No.
I don't think I'm quiet at all.
He also said he hasn't touched it since last week, which is kind of suspect.
I doubt that. Maybe he hasn't done recordings for the stupid History Minute yet.
No, you have no fucking idea. You have no fucking clue.
Oh, well.
And that's true.
Let me tell you this. As much problems as you have with your goddamn microphone, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't fucking talk.
Oh, here we go. I got it right this week.
Huh? So do I.
I got it right this week. So.
All right, well, okay. I'm glad that we got that introduction. But yeah. So you guys had anything special happen today? No.
Not a fucking thing. No.
No?
Special today?
How's Ronald Acuna doing?
Oh, God, you're bringing up a
I
wrong
was told
subject.
this isn't a baseball program, so we're not gonna.
Who told you that?
You did.
Who told you that? We ask you every week about baseball. What are you talking about?
You do not ask me every week about
I
baseball.
do. We bring up the Braves every week. We talk about the Braves every week.
No, we brought up the Braves last week just to piss me off, and that's the same thing you're doing right now. So fuck the two of you.
But how are the Braves doing then?
Am I quiet now?
Yeah, you are. Your microphone is still quiet, but that's okay.
Okay.
Oh,
watch this.
Oh, here we go. Now he's going to turn it up, and then he's playing with it. But that's okay. Now he's going to be really loud.
How about now?
Oh yeah, it's much better. It's a little bit louder. Yeah.
How about now?
Oh God, now you're yelling into it, so it's fine.
How about now?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's fine.
How about now?
Oh well, when you're right on it, like you put it in your mouth like that, it's always going to sound bad.
Okay. Okay. Just so you guys are okay. I mean, fuck me. Just so you guys are okay.
I do it for the listeners, Kev, and the 0 people that we have watching us this week.
Okay.
I figured as long as we have nobody watching it, we might as well, deal
with. Pissed them all off last week by saying that they're not going to comment.
Fuck them. Did you see the tweet I just sent out?
Yeah, I turned off the comments.
Okay.
And they weren't commenting anyway, so I'm like, screw it.
You turned off the comments?
No, I didn't.
You can't turn off the comments unless you go into the settings of YouTube.
Yeah, I'm kidding. They're not going to do it anyway. But anyway, so all right. Well, let's get into it, Beebs. You want basketball? It is, man.
Basketball? It is. What are you talking about?
You wanted this was originally going to be a basketball because I
did want to bring up.
Hey, real quick. You know what tomorrow is?
Well, May 1st.
It's gonna be May.
Yes, thank you very much. All right.
Yeah. What is tomorrow?
It's gonna be May.
Okay, just to make sure.
Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, that's it is going to be May. Absolutely.
It's gonna be May.
Okay, great.
I'm surprised that soundbite didn't kick one of us out and make us mute.
It's gonna be May.
No.
All right.
I'm just gonna sit over here and run the soundboard.
Yeah,
I'll bring up the one thing that you both will comment on.
Hey, real quick.
It's gonna be May.
No. But you know what the people who don't comment?
Yeah. Hey.
Exactly.
0 people
Exactly.
at the moment. Yeah. That's what we got. Crickets. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Every time I sign on, you know what you hear?
That's a bit extreme.
Kev's having some fun today.
Yeah,
you're doing something. Anyway,
you know what I watched today?
You watched a documentary on.
Little Big Bang.
I don't know what that is. But
Okay, I'm done.
Okay, that's great.
Okay. Come on, LeBron lover.
actually, that
I'm glad you're done. Okay, great. Beebs, you want to get in on fun?
not in particular. In fact, I mean, like, I could just sit here and be quiet for the rest of the time. Let you guys go if you want.
What do you want to say?
No, we want the people out there to tune in and be like, "What the fuck am I listening to?"
I
You know what I'm saying?
I think we've
And then-
accomplished
done
that.
that.
Yeah, and then
They've already done that.
and then they're just like,
It's gonna be me.
They've already done that.
"Okay, carry on, gentlemen."
I don't know what to say now.
Okay.
You guys took the words away. You scared them and hid them behind something.
Okay, so the Lakers they beat the Nuggets in one game.
No, the Lakers lost.
No, the Lakers did win one.
Yeah, they won one game though. They didn't get swept.
Yeah, but they're out of the series, so.
Yeah, because all the LeBron lovers are like, Michael Jordan got swept 2 times in playoff series, and LeBron's never been swept.
Yeah, so, but who cares? Because the Lakers are out and good. We don't have to hear about LeBron anymore.
Actually, I did want to bring up. Did you guys see the highlight of him like screaming at his coach?
No.
What time?
Well, that's a great question. But first time I've seen it like that dramatically. Like he's telling the coach he needs to challenge a call, and the coach wouldn't do it, and he's like shouting at him, like jumping up and down like a spoiled school brat, like shouting at his coach. And I'm like, you should take him out if you're the coach.
Yeah. Well, but what is the coach isn't going to take out players? So okay, so here's the thing. So I watched a lot of basketball this weekend, which was a waste of time. But I did it because my dad was here and he likes basketball, and we watched it. And there was I have a lot of questions. And there's things revolving basketball that makes zero sense to me, right? So when they go into the huddle, for example, what does the coach say to the players?
You mean like during a timeout? There it is, right there. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, what does the coach say to the players that he is going to actually make an impact on anything to do with the game?
You think you're talking about the NBA coaches? Yes.
NBA coaches.
Like college coaches is a different story altogether. I would say.
But we're talking about NBA. It's NBA playoff time. It is NBA's. I mean, if he goes in there, the only thing that I can possibly think that he says to them is, "Do you want to go to Taco Bell tonight, or is it McDonald's?" Or
I got you, St. Joe. What he says is, absolutely under no circumstance do you play any fucking defense. Travel all you can. If you shoot anything other than a 3, I'm going to bench your motherfucking ass. You know, those kind of things.
Right. I mean, I can't think he puts anything of value to them. He can't do any coaching.
They've had like microphones in there, like in the huddle before, and I've never heard anything of extreme value other than he just reminds them of the game plan, and then like he's the guy who makes subs at the right time, I suppose. That's
perfect.
It.
So he reminds them of the game plan, which is what? Give the ball to LeBron. I mean
actually, for the Lakers, I would assume it's to Anthony Davis, right?
Okay. I mean, but they're professional athletes. I mean, how much coaching is the coaching doing on the inbounds play? Does he really have to draw up a play and say, "Look, let's do this to pass it inbounds"?
Well, I would think you could ask the same thing about football. I mean, for heaven's sakes, I mean, look, they still have to organize what they're doing and all be on the same page, and that's what the coach is there for.
I don't know. I
It's
think
not it's not all just spread the floor and let LeBron James go. I mean, like he can't score enough to win the game for you. You have to actually be organized in some fashion, and you actually have to have set plays in order to score at some point. If there's a possession in the game that matters quite a bit, then you have a play for that possession.
Yeah, but in football, it's a lot different. In football, you go up to the huddle and you've got 3 plays that you're calling. And you go up and you read the defense and you do things. And no matter of what the defense shifts to and does a couple different things, you make the audible, but you're initially calling one play and you go up there and you read what somebody does. And then you call the audible based off of A, B, and C.
I mean, they play different types of defense in the NBA. You have to read what the NBA is doing and take what they give you. Now, as Kev said, I don't think they play defense during the regular season, of course.
They don't play it during the playoffs either.
They play a little bit more. I mean, the scores aren't as high, so they're doing something different. But I mean, they mix up the defenses that they're playing. They mix up the guys who are playing defense on what other player. Like one of the strategies I think, and this was back when I think the NBA was worth watching. I don't know if it still is, but back when, say, like Jordan and Pippen were playing, or say you had a really good, one of your players, you wouldn't always put your best scorer playing defense against their best scorer, and the reason is because they would expend so much energy playing defense, they wouldn't be able to score as much. So you have to kind of have a tactical way of who's guarding who, what's our game plan, that type of thing. I think that's what the coach is there for. Now, during the game, is that something that the players are going to forget? Probably not. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, probably they won't forget that during the course of the game. But
when is the last time a playoff game actually mattered?
I think every playoff game matters.
Well, sure, it matters in the terms of who wins to go to the next level. But when you look at an actual playoff game that actually meant something, when would that have been?
If you were a Nuggets fan, it would have been last year.
Okay.
Because they had never
won
a
when do you
before.
think the last playoff game that you watched on TV, you could say this is a playoff game that actually mattered?
When the last playoff game I watched on TV was probably when the Lakers and Magic were going at it.
Okay.
It was 2008, 2009, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Yeah. What Dwight Howard was on the Magic.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the last time that I got enthralled. Now, before that, probably 98. Somewhere in there.
Yep.
Yep.
So you're talking
all right.
about...
I got a question for you, Scott. I mean, you're bringing it up.
Sure.
You watched the Bucks win the finals. You and I talked about that. That was like 2 years ago. I mean, then that mattered to me. I didn't have a team. I didn't really have a team in the scrub, but I watched it because I thought it was important. The Bucks hadn't won a finals in a long time.
Sure.
Giannis was the best player on earth. He was fun to watch.
Yeah, he was the MVP of the league.
So, but I watched every game of the finals last year, the Nuggets, because I thought that the Nuggets I thought they were going to win it, and I wanted to be able to see it happen for the first time in history. I thought that was pretty cool myself, but I mean, what is the point you're trying to make?
I think that NBA is a joke, an absolute joke. I mean, if you're a Nuggets fan, yeah, it mattered to you. I watched the Bucks game on Monday. So they played tonight. So they played on Sunday, and it was competitive. But Giannis and Damian Lillard, their two best players, weren't even in the game because they were unavailable.
Giannis has got a knee issue. I know that, but I don't know about the other guy.
But you're in the playoffs. Get in there and play. If you really want to do something for your team, and you've done it this long and all year long, that's what the playoffs are about. Get in there and play basketball. That's what you're getting paid, $250 million the contract that you signed for. So get in there and play.
I'll say this, that isn't NBA basketball like the second most watched sport in the country?
Nope.
No.
I
No.
mean, professional sport.
No. Not even close.
What's the second
NBA
most?
viewership has taken a nosedive completely downhill.
What is the second most watched professional sport then? Tennis?
Baseball. I would say baseball is right now.
Yeah, I can
Hang
see
on,
that.
I got it.
It's one of the. I mean, it's one of the big three. Always has been, right?
I would say it's making a steady decline, rapid decline.
Viewership can't be that low if they have the highest paying contracts ever.
I would disagree with you. I think that they're hanging on by a thread.
Well, I think that you don't want to confuse who watches on TV with which teams get TV contracts.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
Doesn't-
TV
don't-
contracts can do a lot in order to help pay for players.
Don't TV
Right.
contracts show up from viewership? That's where the money comes from.
I got 2023 is I mean depends on where you look, but I'm looking at Nielsen ratings. Number one naturally is the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly.
Number two is Major League Baseball.
I mean, that makes sense to me.
Number three is UFC.
I guess I didn't think about that one.
Number four is ice hockey, NHL.
No way.
Number six is Premier League soccer.
How about that?
Number seven is golf.
Hmm.
And number 8 is the NBA.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was 2023. Now, if I pulled like all time, naturally, basketball would get.
Yeah,
in
but
there.
it was like super
there-
popular in the 90s, right? I mean,
Right.
like,
There's another one where it just is general, like 1 American football, 2 American basketball,
Sure,
3 American
sure.
baseball. I mean, there's a cut. It's just like anything. If you want to know what you're number one in, it depends on which stat you look at.
Sure.
But Nielsen ratings are typically how they go. I mean, the number one most watched sporting event in the world is Super Bowl. The one single event. If you wanted to go playoffs, I would challenge after the NFL playoffs. Probably the soccer playoffs would probably be second most watched. I mean, there's a lot of fucking stupid people in France that watch that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I think the Caitlin
Well,
Clark.
Kev, you're absolutely wrong about the most watched sporting event in the world being the Super Bowl.
Okay, what's it? FIFA World Cup.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I'm talking about single day event.
the final of the FIFA World Cup.
Okay, but that's a lead up, and you can't say
It's
the
same
final.
thing. It's the same thing as the NFL playoffs.
Are the World Cup? They last what 6 weeks? NFL
People-
playoffs last 3.
Well, no, you have to do qualifying for 4 years to get into the World Cup.
So yeah, but you're taking the viewership of one event. Are you taking the viewership of the entire World Cup? Because then you got to take the viewership of the entire NFL playoffs.
Okay, but it's not even going to be close.
Okay.
I mean, the entire planet watches FIFA World Cups.
Well, do you know everybody on the entire planet?
It's okay, but
Then that's just a ridiculous. I don't watch the FIFA World Cup, and I'm on the planet.
no, like,
So the entire planet does not watch the FIFA World Cup.
okay, well, Google says the FIFA World Cup.
And Google's never been wrong before.
That's right. That's right.
Again, I could probably bring up ESPN, tell me something different.
You think?
Probably, yeah.
Maybe.
Do you?
Right?
Well, okay. If you want to go, what? Okay, here's a great trivia question. What in the world is the single most one day attended event?
Ooh, I don't know that one. That's a good one.
St.
I
Joe,
have
you
no
want to take
idea.
a stab at it? Just
No
just to let you know, it has about 300,000 people at it.
Is it a NASCAR event?
It is the Daytona
Is
500.
it? Yeah, the Daytona 500. Yeah, it's crazy. It's huge. You guys been in there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been twice. Yeah,
It's crazy how big that place is. Well,
Yeah.
anyway,
I haven't been since they renovated it.
It's nice.
But yeah.
I
but-
think what's driving the ratings on the NBA, especially, I don't think that the Steph Curry injection of constantly shooting 3-point baskets has really helped the NBA overall.
I read something interesting the other day. How many times has LeBron in the playoffs beat Steph Curry?
I don't know that he's one time.
And how many titles does Steph Curry have?
He's got 4 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we love. Would you guys not say that the '90s was the Jordan, the '80s and '90s was the Jordan era of basketball,
Yeah.
Sure.
and now they like to call it the LeBron era basketball?
I don't refer to it as the LeBron era.
Why
I mean,
wouldn't
some
it
of
be
my-
the Steph Curry era?
It is the Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green era. That's what it
Well,
is.
LeBron
It's
has
Warriors
4
era.
titles too.
Right, but
He just has them with 3 different teams.
Right.
eh,
That's the other thing that's ruined basketball is the whole super team concept. I'm going to jump ship and I'm going to go to whatever team, whatever team is going to help me win the NBA finals. I'm going to go with these players wherever they are so I can get a ring. It's ring chasing. It's not, it's really hard to be a fan of a team in the NBA now because the players jump ship and go to other teams so often. Now,
that's
I
why
will tell-
I find most people nowadays are fans of players.
right.
Yeah.
And so, that's why you're seeing. I'm going to assume that's why you're seeing a decline in NBA. But to their credit, Steph Curry has only played for one team,
Sure.
and to Giannis's credit, he stayed with the Bucks, and he's still there. You know what I mean? Like after they won the title, he's like, "They've been good to me. I'm going to stay here."
He
And
signed a giant contract.
right, and I'll give some credit there. I think that those teams probably because of those athletes have a great following. The Lakers, man, I watched LeBron James and I'm like, dude, he's the reason. Like, he's a great player still, but he is the reason their team isn't very good. In my opinion, like he can't accept the lesser role, and he can't accept lesser money, so they can build a team that's going to win.
But doesn't that
Instead-
all fall on coaching?
You tell me, Scott. You brought it up. I mean, I don't know how. Look, I've never been in the NBA, so I don't know how important and involved having a coach is. But the Bulls of the '90s and the Lakers of the early 2000s would say Phil Jackson's one of the best coaches that's ever existed, and
Right. But you've played basketball.
the coach is really important
Right.
to the teams that I
So
played
that's the
on.
whole point. That's the whole point I was trying to make is that the coach drives the team. And right now, the coach has nothing to do with the team because it's basketball right now is all about individual players.
Yeah,
And if you watch the game itself is all about players. It's not about team. There's nothing to do about the team. It's all about one player taking it down the court and scoring as many points as I can. And if you
Right.
take Giannis, for example, it's hard there because they have Lillard too. But if you take them, Giannis might have 40 points a night or 50 points a night or 70 points a night for whatever the Joker or whatever. If you get somebody scoring 70 points a night, that's insane. You can't. There's no concept of team whatsoever. Now, yes, you go back and say Jordan scored 63, Kobe scored 60s, whatever, but
not every
there
night.
was still the aspect of team. And if you go back, that's why I'm saying, when's the last time that a playoff actually mattered? Is if you watch any of these games, they're horrible. If anybody drives and the wind blows on them, there's a foul. And I mean, it's absolutely horrid.
They took away the hand check.
Well, they took away basketball in general. When you grow up in the 80s and you're watching the bad boys of Detroit absolutely maul Jordan and go in there and not get called fouls or do anything, or when he did get fouled, he got fouled. You're watching Lakers play Celtics and just knock down, drag them out series where, it would come down to who won that game mattered. It was a series that you're like, this is going to determine who wins the championship. This is going to come down to, blood on the floor. This is going to be tough. There's not games like that now. They're either blown out, they're sweeping him. It's not even competitive.
There's a couple teams that I'd say play the style that I would say, hey, that's where you want basketball to be, right? And those are teams with players no one talks about. You know what I'm talking about? There's a
Who?
couple.
Which team?
The Thunder, they play that way. Okay, and I would actually say, even though the Nuggets have Jokic on their team, if you watch them play, they play really well as a team.
I
Really
can tell
well
you
as a
this:
team.
Oklahoma's a #1 seed team for the playoffs. I couldn't tell you one player on their team.
And
I couldn't
that's kind of
name one player.
that's kind of my point. Is no one talks about their players, but they have a player on their team who's on the ballot for being MVP, but nobody knows who he is.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my point. Is they're all just a bunch of young kids, and they play like real basketball together, and they win. And so I mean, that is the direction you would want the NBA to go. They don't just sit around, shoot a ton of threes. They actually seem to play real basketball. They have a good head coach. They have a good structure above them. They seem to be a team that's moving in the direction you would want to see the NBA go in. But like you said, the NBA seems to be right now about the players, and I think that's why your viewership's down, is because we're sick and tired of seeing guys, especially I would say LeBron James. They lose a game to the Nuggets last week early, and they said, and they were questioning him about it, and he acted like it was no big deal that they lost. And then he goes on like a 60-second rant about how the refs suck, and then he stands up and walks out on the press conference without finishing. The next night they lose to the Nuggets again, and they're interviewing him again, and then he's like, "Well, I mean, it's just basketball. It's just a game. At the end of the day, it's just basketball. No big deal." And then they lose their third game in a row, and they're interviewing him, and it is the saddest thing you have ever seen. Right? He's losing his mind. He's like irate. So which one is it, LeBron? Is it just basketball? Or is it like a big deal that you care about? Which one is it? I mean, why are we, and this is why I think the NBA is turned into what it is. It's because we follow players, we don't follow teams. It's exactly what you all are alluding to. And that's where we're at. Because it used to be the Celtics Lakers, right? It used to be like the Bulls and whoever they were going to play against, right?
Pistons, Bulls,
Pistons,
Knicks,
Bulls.
Bulls.
Yeah. And Celtics. There was a time frame where the Bulls and the Celtics played each other, couldn't get over that hurdle, right?
Sure.
I would raise you some great series, the Bulls versus the Utah Jazz.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. The Magic.
Bulls, Cavs, that famous shadow, Jordan over Craig Elo. I mean, there's a poster that everybody had on the wall.
The Magic and the Knicks had a couple pretty dang good series too, if I remember watching that correctly. And the Rockets. So I mean, here's the thing: is like we all remember those games for the '90s because, like you said, they were battles. These guys went to battle. When you're watching these players play now, you're not thinking someone might die on the floor tonight, something like that. You don't really see them.
I don't want my kid to grow up to look at these players as a role model. I don't want him to see that interview and go, yeah, that's the way that I want to act.
I just don't see a lot of toughness in the NBA.
I think Draymond Green's pretty tough.
Yeah.
He could have played for the Pistons back then, right? He's in the wrong era, right?
You know,
I just think
the model citizen.
I think they bring them up, and I think it all falls back on coaching. And there is no coaching in basketball. It's all the players coaching themselves.
Do you know who the best coach in the NBA is?
The best coach in the NBA right now? I couldn't tell you half of the coaches.
All right, this has absolutely zero stats behind it or anything like that. But the best coach in the NBA is in Chicago. His name's Billy Donovan. Used to be in OKC. And the reason that he's the best coach is because he won back-to-back national championships at the University of Florida.
It always circles back to Florida.
It's full circle. We made it. Thank God. I didn't know if we were going to today, but we made it at some point. But I know you guys don't like
Wait,
talking the
can I
talking
somehow
NBA.
get into Wisconsin here somehow, or Bears or
Yeah,
somehow? Because
yeah. I'll tell you how you get into Wisconsin. Okay, so in Chicago, this is Billy Donovan, and he kicked this guy off his team because let's just say he liked to wear pink lipstick, and so he talked to the guy Matt Eberflus over at the Bears,
Oh,
and he
okay.
said, "Hey, draft this guy named Caleb Williams,"
Oh.
and then this guy named Barry Alvarez. He called up. And he said, don't draft that motherfucker. And they're like, Barry, you need to retire. You need to go away. And they drafted Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Furthermore, Caleb Williams got on the phone with the NCAA and said, you know what? You need to keep Florida State out of the college football playoff.
No, not happening. No.
I'm just saying.
Anyway, but now that you brought up Caleb Williams, what do you guys think about the draft?
I think it went the way that it. The only shocker that really happened was the 8th pick when
What the fuck are the Falcons
Penix.
doing?
Yeah, Michael Penix going to the. I tell you what, every dog in Atlanta let out a big yelp when they went, what? A left-handed black quarterback? What? Last time that happened, it didn't go too well here.
Let's just say you're Kirk Cousins and you poured a glass of Chardonnay, and you sit down and you're watching, the draft. And you're like, all right, what kind of who's still on the board, man? Maybe I could get me some, Malik Neighbors. Oh, no, the Giants took him. Okay, so maybe I can get me a cool guy to run to or to throw to because I already got, Kyle Pitts and let's do the team. What we got up here, and with the 8th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, Atlanta Falcons select Michael Penix Jr., quarterback, University of Washington. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was just like, I love the picture of the GM talking to Arthur Blank, the owner, trying to explain to him. Trying to explain to him why they did that. And I mean, number one, that's an expensive ass backup quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
it is.
Either way, if Penix plays, now I know Cousins has been hurt, but there ain't no fucking way you're paying Cousins what you paid him, and he's not going to play.
No, $200 million or something like that.
No fucking way. And this is just
$180 million guaranteed. Yeah.
This is just after the 28-3 debacle in the Super Bowl. This is just what has plagued the Falcons. Just dumb decision after dumb decision after dumb decision. And I can't think. I mean,
did they have a backup? I mean, not
No.
because I'm trying to find a reason. Did they have a backup quarterback?
No.
Is that why they went and got him? Or
well, no. Their practice squad quarterback was a guy named Felipe
okay,
Franks. May
But
remember
they didn't
him.
have a true backup.
No,
I
They
mean, like,
gone
do they have
after
an
Justin.
actual like true backup? That was my
No,
question.
they should have gone after Justin Fields, but
well, you remember they had Desmond Ritter, and he's now out in Arizona, I think. And so
can I? I'm not saying they made the right choice, but I have a question because my view of professional sports, at least on this angle, is a little bit. So I know, like, the whole thing, we got to call Kirk Cousins and massage his ego because we took a quarterback with our number 1 pick in the draft. That didn't sit right with me, and here's why. Sports is about competition, and doesn't competition make everybody better?
yeah, but also confidence.
Sure.
Confidence
But if your quarterback loses confidence because guess what? Oh my gosh, there's a guy maybe coming for my spot, then maybe he's not the quarterback for you.
yeah, but
You want
maybe
the guy who rises to the top no matter what.
on the flip side of that, maybe the organization doesn't have the confidence in me that I thought that they did.
is that an article you saw that they had to do that?
Yeah, I read several tweets and articles that said they had to do that. And I'm not saying like anything against Kirk Cousins. I don't really know what the true story is, but I have watched not just this sport, but in other sports as well. Like, okay, well, we signed this guy and then we went and signed a guy in the same position, and now that guy's upset. And I'm like, well, doesn't healthy competition make everybody better? Isn't that what sports is about? Like, is this professional sports wherein we want the best player on the field? And if we pick someone who may compete with that person for that position, isn't that going to make everybody better? And if the one guy you paid a bunch of money to decides that he doesn't want to play, or maybe he's just not as good as the other guy you signed, even though you signed him for less, and maybe he's a rookie, maybe, just maybe, you play the best damn player you got on the team in that position, and y'all can quit whining about it.
The best player in that position on the team is Kirk Cousins.
Oh, sure. But I'm saying just in general, like, because that came up during the draft. They're like, oh, well, they had to call Kirk Cousins and like explain why they took a quarterback with their pick. Why?
Great.
Who cares? I'm like, if you're a player and you've been playing in the NFL as long as Kirk Cousins has, don't you think he understands what a healthy quarterback competition is at this juncture? He's 35 years old. I mean,
I tell you what, if I was Kirk Cousins and I got that phone call, I'd say, awesome, great. I just signed a huge contract and I got $180 million guaranteed to me no matter what happens. If you think that he wants to play over me and I sit the bench, no problem. No problem.
On the flip side of that, though, it's got to be. I mean, Kirk Cousins has made a lot of money in his career. Yeah, he's got a huge contract. Yeah, so there might be a, kind of the Drew Bledsoe effect that Drew, lost the confidence in his team, got benched due to injury. Tom Brady comes in, he wins, a championship. At some level, the money doesn't outweigh the chasing of the ring. Or whatever. So
I think Atlanta is doing a smart thing, though. I think that actually it's not.
I think they could have gotten a way better player at 8 and then gotten another quarterback in the second and third round.
I think you're right, but I think
it cost Atlanta a lot.
It did, but I think that their mindset, and I see where their mindset is that they have a fantastic mentor in Kirk Cousins, and they're bringing in a rookie to learn underneath Kirk Cousins to say, here's what I can do. And why not have a guy like that to teach Michael Penix?
Here's what I've always
is going to be 42 by the time he gets to start.
Here's what I've always heard about sports in general, right? Like, especially the NFL. Like, if there's a player in the draft that you believe in, pick him.
Yeah.
So there was something about Michael Penix Jr. that nobody else saw that they saw, and they said, I want that guy, and they went and got him. What's wrong with that?
All right, so in the NFL, it's widely considered a top 10 pick is going to start for your team this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a top 10 first-round draft pick is going to start for your team this year. There's no fucking way Michael Penix Jr. is going to start for Atlanta game 1. That's just not going to happen.
No.
Barring injury. Barring injury in the preseason.
So that was my other thing is that I thought might be going on. Is like, what is the most difficult injury to return from in sports history?
It depends on which sport. It depends on which sport. Probably in football, I would gather an ACL, MCL tear.
Yeah.
Torn Achilles, which is
Yeah.
what Kirk Cousins has. Achilles tendon does not heal as quickly as a ligament. So you sever that tendon, that causes a lot of problems. It's hard to return from, especially if that's your planting foot when you're throwing.
Why pay him $200 million?
He might have had the same doctor as Aaron Rodgers, who recovered.
Who knows?
Time,
maybe
right?
he went. Yeah, maybe he went and sat in darkness for a week. I don't know.
He
Anyway,
could be
I mean, they're not going to pay him $200 million if they don't believe he's.
Look at the
Then they
Browns.
signed Penix.
Look
Then
at
they
the
signed
Browns.
Penix, who had 2 ACL tears, an ankle tear, a neck injury, and did all that to replace a guy who had a torn ACL or a torn Achilles tendon.
I'm just saying, like, look at what the Browns did. They went and got the what's his face from Houston, paid him $240 million, right? Or signed a $240 million. I don't know what was guaranteed in that contract, but they did the same thing with a guy. He tore his ACL. He has injuries.
Yeah, but he got hurt jacking off in front of hookers.
Right. But he's also been like, he came back. They paid him that much money, and he didn't even get to play the first season. And then he played the second season, and he was injured half the year. So if I'm the Falcons, I'm kind of like, well, we do need some insurance. So I mean, I kind of get the thinking. The question
Yeah.
is, could you have gotten him in the second round?
Right, not well. You wouldn't have been able to get Penix in the second round
Not in the
because
second round.
because
Right. So if you're
okay,
saying if you're saying the backup quarterback is a really important piece of the puzzle, like I think they are. I think they are an important piece of the puzzle, which we learned in Jacksonville, right? Then you go out and you get the guy who's going to come out when Kirk Cousins is. It's kind of like the Love situation up in Green Bay after Aaron Rodgers left. You know what I mean? Like they had that he was on their roster for 3 years before Aaron Rodgers left, right?
yeah, but
right?
I don't think he wasn't a top 10 pick, was he?
No, they didn't pick him in the top. He might have been
Yeah.
the top 15.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All I'm saying is that they could have waited until the second round and gotten somebody like Spencer Rattler, you
Yep.
know, and who was probably going to be back up his entire career.
Yeah.
You know, if that dude starts, then I mean,
Well,
it's going to be for probably Jacksonville.
I mean, I wonder, but also all this controversy, I wonder how that makes Michael Penix. You know, how that makes him feel. Like,
Right.
I mean, like that, what's he going to, I mean, what's that going to be like for him? Now he's got to prove everybody. So you lit a fire under his butt. He's going to show up ready to go. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if that's the only real controversy in the first round, then I mean, okay.
So, according to ESPN, there are two teams that got Fs in the first round. Okay,
One was Falcons.
Atlanta's one of them. Who's the other?
I don't think it was the Jags. So
No, they got B plus.
yeah, I think they did all right. I think they got the player they wanted and traded down.
I think it was Atlanta and let's see, somebody in the late rounds. I'm gonna say
Was it a late round team, Kev?
Kind of mid.
Okay.
oh,
I don't
I'm gonna say
remember
it's
any
the Packers.
surprise.
It wasn't the Packers.
They drafted an offensive lineman that they really, I guess, to replace Baccarati, but
I'll give you a hint. They're in the AFC.
See, that's the thing is nothing really besides them, and nothing really stood out as like really that bad to me.
did the Chargers have a second pick? They got Joe Alt.
Their first pick was Joe Alt. That couldn't have been it though, because that was
No.
pretty good offensive lineman.
All right. I give you guys one more guess apiece. AFC.
The Jets.
Negative. How you going to get an F for drafting? Who took Bowers? They didn't take Bowers.
Saints did.
The Saints did, yeah.
That was a good pick for them.
Nuh-uh, it was the Raiders. I'm staring
Yeah,
at the list right now.
the
Brock Bowers went to the
Raiders.
Raiders, but they don't have anybody who's going to throw
Oh,
to
that's
him.
right.
So, I mean, who's he going to catch passes from? That's the question.
That's right. I don't know.
Who'd they get? Didn't they get a quarterback?
Oakland or Las Vegas?
Yeah. No, didn't they trade for a quarterback? Like not Thursday, but like previous to that.
Oh, I know they got somebody, but it wasn't like anybody.
I don't know. Who's the team they got? Who's the other team they got?
Yeah.
Yeah,
who's the other
they got Gardner Minshew.
Oh, they got Gardner Minshew. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, you roll your eyes. Gardner Minshew had the Colts in the fucking playoff race.
He wasn't even the starter for the Colts at the beginning of the season.
Right. I've told you.
And he
about
didn't.
Anthony
He didn't
Richardson.
start. He didn't even start until the rookie got hurt. But that doesn't take anything away from Gardner Minshew. I just don't think that he's a starting.
Who's
Again,
the backup quarterback
again,
for the Colts?
Well, Gardner Minshew is now.
No, who's the backup
he
quarterback
was.
for the Colts right now?
Oh, I don't know.
Because I
Probably.
guarantee you, they will be
Yeah,
the
they're
starter
going to play.
They're going to
yeah.
be
by
the starter. Yeah,
game
they're gonna-
4.
Yeah. No.
Well, again, it goes back to the rule why Gardner Minshew wasn't the starter is because if you have a high draft pick, you know, in the first round, like Anthony Richardson was, he's going to start.
Well, you want him to anyway.
You know, and he got. I mean, I told you guys before the season last year he was going to get hurt. I'm telling you again this year he's going to get hurt. He's going to be out of the NFL in 5 years.
Yeah.
You know,
Boy, I don't know. Kev, who's the person?
The Denver Broncos.
No. I
Really?
don't
The
think
Denver Broncos with picking Bo Nix. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that was what ESPN. Yeah,
I
two
disagree.
teams that got an F. You know.
Why? What's the reasoning behind giving him a failing grade for that pick? They needed a quarterback, and he fits their system.
Yeah, but they also had stuff to try to trade up to
Get somebody else.
somebody else. So
I think that he was the quarterback they wanted, and they knew they could get him right at their pick.
personally, I think in the NFL he fits better than Michael Penix. Personally,
Totally agree. I totally agree. Absolutely. But so it
I
was
think his dad's a jerk off.
the Broncos and the Falcons got Fs. Interesting.
Correct.
So yeah, how'd you guys feel about us trading down? About the Jaguars trading down?
I thought they did a good job. I thought you got some draft capital out of it. I think you got what you're one of the positions that you're going after. My question on the Jags, I have no problem. I'm on the Brian Thomas train. I have no problem with that pick whatsoever. It fills a huge need. You have a big, and I'm even on the today. I don't know if you've seen the breaking news, but the Jaguars released Zay Jones because they're about to sign Jarvis Landry. And
they are.
Yeah, they invited him to rookie minicamp. I know he's not a rookie, but he's been out of the football for a year due to injury, and he's a free agent. And so they could use some veteran, in there with Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram, to teach Brian Thomas, how to be a pro, and because he's certainly got the frame for it. Yeah, I see it back there. And it continues the Jaguars' love affair with Louisiana State University.
Yeah.
But my question, where I questioned the Jags and where I thought they fucked it up, was why do you wait until the third round to draft a corner?
Yeah. They could have got
did.
Kool-Aid.
That was a glaring need. We all talked about it last week.
Yep.
We all thought they were going corner in the first round. I just don't understand why. Who they drafted in the second round? It was like offensive, the edge guy.
Mason Smith, defensive tackle.
Yeah. So while a good pick,
it wasn't a terrible pick.
Yeah, I'm good with that pick. These guys from LSU, I feel that I watch them a lot because the Gators play them. And they're in the SEC, and I'm an SEC fan. But when you wait until and then you draft a guy from Florida State. Granted,
They had a great defense.
That was a nasty defense. Yeah,
They had a great defense. Absolutely, and their corners were good. So I didn't think that was a terrible pick. It was just, why'd you wait so long? You could have had somebody else.
Yeah, because number one, you had your pick of the best corner in the draft. If you wanted the best corner in the draft, you could have had him at 17.
Yeah.
But getting those picks, drafting down, it was clear that they knew who they were going after when they made that trade. It was clear that we think we can get Brian Thomas at 23. So we're gonna go through there.
Let's get a little more draft capital. Yeah.
And this fucking guy right here. And that reminds me, we're live on we're 48 minutes in. We're live on YouTube and Twitter tonight. And if you're watching us, you're one of the 6 people that are watching us, why don't you give us a comment, say hi, because tomorrow it's
gonna be me.
Okay. Right. Well done.
But I give Jaguars overall draft, I'd probably give like a C+. Just because at least once they made me say, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then I think I don't know if it was us 3 or just me and one of you guys where I was like, Trent strikes again.
Yeah, no, that was on our text.
Yeah.
I said, why did we get a defensive tackle? Because we signed defensive tackles in the offseason, but
hey, I gotta address this real quick. So when you write in, my favorite is St. Joe,
that's
and
right.
it's from St. Joe.
I mean,
What the fuck are you?
I'm going to get the comment train rolling.
he's trying to prime the pump.
Yeah.
Trying to
I,
get
I mean,
I get it. I appreciate
it's
it.
got to look
but,
like something's going on. I mean, Jesus. Peter's falling asleep.
I don't know. I've actually liked our conversation so far about the draft. So I did notice that Ricky Pearsall got drafted to the Niners.
The only Gator drafted in the entire draft,
I
Ricky
mean,
Pearsall.
he was. I mean, he was good enough to go, and I think he's an incredible receiver. So I think he's going to do good there.
So, Ricky Pearsall was a product of the transfer portal into Florida, right? Do you know where he played before?
I do not.
Arizona.
Huh.
So, do you know who also played at Arizona?
No.
Guy
I mean,
named
lots
Bra-
of people. Lots
Guy
of people.
named Brandon Ayuk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now and when they drafted Pearsall, Ayuk texted the GM John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan and says, "Gotta admit, fire pick."
Yeah.
Nice.
I think
so
he's a really good receiver. I
he's
watched
gonna
him
be
play.
like a Wes Welker type receiver in the NFL.
And everybody wants a Wes. I mean, every team probably needs a Wes Welker
Yeah.
type of receiver.
Or Julian Edelman type guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited for him. I mean, he's going to a team that he can, win with immediately and probably help them win. Because everybody's just like, what do we have to do to beat the Chiefs? I'm sure you saw that Travis Kelce got extended.
Oh, wow. Shocker.
Yeah.
Right? Shocker. Yeah. I don't know. I think the NFL, there won't be a big shocker again next year.
Shocker. Stop using that word. Kev's going to. Yeah.
It's gonna be May.
You know what else is going on this week?
No.
It's one of the oldest traditions in sports.
No, the Kentucky Derby?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is
150
Saturday.
years.
Mm-hmm.
150 years of the fastest 2 minutes in sports. Yeah, that's a fun one.
Do you know any of the horses? I have no idea.
So it's funny that you say that because I have them all right here, and it's always fun to see the names. And every time you yawn, a ghost that's his dick in your mouth.
Well, we gotta.
Just so you know, I'm just
he's
telling
getting
you
lucky
right now.
tonight.
Well, hello. All right. Yeah. So here's the list of the names.
I'm just wondering, how do you know that?
The had a hair in my mouth.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, kind of from the same concept of who smelt it, dealt it.
Yeah,
you
just
know?
what I heard. Just what I heard.
Okay,
Old wives'
all
tale.
right. Now
all
you're
right, so-
calling Mrs. St. Joe old.
Well, somebody's got to.
I won't tell her.
Somebody's got to.
Yeah.
There's 20 horses.
My
Here's the
my
names.
favorite is Grand Mo the First.
Yeah. Here's the list of it. All right, I'll run through them quick. There's Door Knock, not like you. It's DORNOCH. So Door
you
Knock.
Knock.
Then you
Yep.
have Sierra Leone.
Sierra
Leone.
Leone. Mystic Dan, who is Sierra Leone is a 3-1. That's a previous.
really-
That's a good horse.
Yep.
Catching Freedom, Cadillac, Just Steel. Bet you that one breeds really well. Anna Marie, Just a Touch, Encino. That he's a scratch though. TO Password. I wonder if TO Terrell Owens has anything to do with that. Maybe. Who knows?
His son got drafted
He did.
by
He
the
did.
Niners.
Yeah.
Niners.
Forever Young, Track Phantom, West Saratoga, Endlessly, Domestic Product, oddly enough owned by, okay, I won't even go there, Grand Mo the First, Fierceness, Stronghold, Resilience, Society Man, and Epic Ride.
Okay, so I feel on Domestic Product you're about to make a Chris Brown joke because the owner is Chad Brown. You know,
There was a couple ones that I was gonna go with,
yeah.
but
I'm just saying.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was
So
well,
who's
couple
who's
couple
the
ways it could have gone there,
who's
but
the leader at the moment?
so fierceness is a 5-2.
Yeah.
That's
So
your okay.
so I did a little because of course is a huge, huge betting day, right?
Huge. Yeah.
So just last year, if you had placed a small $2 bet and you hit the trifecta, which is win, place, show, you would have won a mere, where was it? The trifecta was $491. $2 got you $491.
And
If
you know what? Coincidentally, that's the cost of a mint julep there.
I'm probably about right. I'm sorry. That's a 50-cent trifecta. 50-cent trifecta got you $491. If you bet a $1 supervecta, which is the first four places, $1 would have netted you little over $15,000 for $1. So that's it. So you could turn some money. This was amazing though. I went back the year before, just a mere $2 bet, and I'm trying to see what would be the biggest win here. But it goes down to $1. $1 supervecta in 2022 when Rich Strike was the 80-1 odds that won. $1. And you got all four right, would have won you $321,000. That's craziness.
Wow.
That's the most. Actually, that's not even the most. In 2005, you could have won $864,000 on the supervecta because there were some horses that came in that were some big odds. But that's crazy. So I'm just thinking, the amount of betting, and for that 2 minutes, they'll come up with stats and everything of the amount of money that was wagered and lost and won and everything in Vegas, everything, and it is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. But that's one I had on my show that 2 weeks ago about where you want to go on the list, and that is something that I do at one of these times before I die. I do want to go there and see that. When I go there, I'll run the whiskey trail and end up at Churchill Downs.
Run the whiskey trail.
That'll be great.
Be sure not to call their capital Louisville.
Yeah, they hate that because it's Frankfurt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They definitely hate that because it is Frankfurt.
Yeah.
You know what else they hate?
What?
It's gonna be
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they do. Yeah. The mint juleps there, though. Yeah. Expensive. Yeah.
You got to wear a hat.
Oh, speaking of May, though, that does remind me of what season does May fall in?
It's gonna be May.
Spring?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not quite summer yet.
Yeah. Okay. Because the spring is going to determine what gender I'm going to be.
Wait, do I feel some drama coming on?
Did you see that story?
Yes.
It's the drama of the week. That's the drama of the week for sure.
Yeah,
Did
you
you see-
made Mama D wait until the very fucking
The
end.
very end of the show. Did you see the story that came out? Is that the newest, I guess, trend that you have? And maybe this will offend anybody, but you know what? Frankly,
Fuck them.
I-
They
I
don't
just-
comment.
I
Yeah,
don't agree.
fuck
with
'em.
it.
So
This is
if they're
something that I don't
watching-
agree with. Is that there's the new studies have showed that the new community, LGBTQ questioning, whatever, ABCDEFG, will determine their gender based on the season because they can't figure out what it is. So they're just going to say, I'm going to be spring. I'm going to be summer. I'm going to be winter. I'm going to be fall. And that's going to be my gender. What?
Those aren't genders.
Well, that is to them. And that's the newest thing. Is
I can
that
see. I
that's
can see Keb's about to lose his mind.
Well,
so-
I can tell you what they're gonna say when you say that's not a don't misgender me. I mean,
well, yeah, but that's the newest thing. Is that?
Oh, I'm
that's
sorry.
the
Did
new-
I call you Winter? Sorry.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, it's
I
spring.
mean,
My bad.
I thought we were past this. You know, seriously. I mean, I
It
got a
brings a whole
real
new
good way
season.
to figure out what gender you are. No way I'm saying it with the record button on.
Diff-
I'll tell you guys offline, and if anybody out there wants to know, you could DM me or you could fight me on Twitter.
just
That's fine.
think what it does bring a whole new meaning to the expression of winter is coming. Hey, fall's coming. Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, that could be that could be the title of the episode.
Winter is coming. Oh my gosh.
I'm writing it down.
So yep. But yeah, that's an interesting concept there, and yeah,
It
that's
depends on how you spell the word coming.
Oh, I think you could do it easily. We could be talking about Game of Thrones for all they know.
Yeah, I mean, other than the fact the motherfucker's called Unfiltered Sports Weekly, I think that fucking gives it away if we're sitting in here talking about Game of Thrones.
Well, you never know,
Yeah.
but
Is that where the winter's coming thing comes from?
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
hashtag GOTLBGTQ plus.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever.
Hashtag shocker.
Shocker, winter is coming.
You know.
Whatever.
So I did see this since I did promise people nonsense tonight, and this is right up this alley.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I did see, because of my food background, I follow a lot of food pages on TikTok and stuff like that, right? And there was this one where an ice cream company is coming out with like, what's it called when you have the strawberry chocolate and
Neapolitan.
yeah, Neapolitan. Yeah, and I should know that. I did Stupid History Minute on it.
You did 30 of them for fucking a month.
Last July. Wait until fucking this July.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Anyhow,
What are you doing in July?
we'll see. So the summer,
Wait,
summer
are you
month.
doing anything tomorrow?
What?
Are you doing anything starting tomorrow?
It's gonna be me.
Oh, okay, great.
I will go. If you're listening to this on Wednesday, we appreciate you guys listening. If you want to kick it over to Stupid History Minute, learn about the real history of May Day. It's not just May 1st; it's May Day for a reason. Anyhow, so there was a brand of the Neapolitan, but it was vanilla, then chocolate in the middle, and then pink, right? Then strawberry, but the chocolate had like a little rounded edge, and it kind of looked like a penis. And and the comments on the damn thing were fucking gold. If I could find it, I'll retweet it on Keb at Keb Lives. But it was pretty good. They're like, name this ice cream. You should. Oh man, some of the names, I felt it made me blush. It takes a lot to make me blush. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, but yeah, and I wonder if anybody actually looked up ASMR from last week.
I don't know. I don't know if they did. That would have been funny though.
I wonder, because in listening to last week's episode,
You never know because they never tell us. They don't.
Yeah,
they
that
don't
would've been funny, though.
comment. They don't comment. I've been really nice this week. I didn't
That
tell
would've
any
been
of them to
very
go
funny to
fuck
know, though.
themselves.
I wonder if St. Joe looked up ASMR. I mean,
Oh, I
he's
have
commenting.
I have it on at night. I have my own ASMR at night.
I don't want to know. All right, I'm sorry I brought that up.
Oh, yep. Yep. It's all good.
So, to answer your question, Beebs, we're gonna do a. We've kind of done a mini series here at the end in April on Stupid History
On the
Minute.
Book of Job.
No, and that's a fucking 6-month series right there.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling May's series is going to be very popular. Just by the comments and the types of numbers.
I've
that
enjoyed
we're
your most recent
getting
stuff.
on. Yeah, it's kind of like that, but it's going to be specific. And then we're going to do we're going to take a 180 in July or in June. We're going to take a 180 in June and do another fun series leading up to another 180 in July and yet another 180 in August, and then we're into the fall. And it's going to be
a lot of 180s.
Yeah, so they're going to be totally different. So we could try to please everybody, But they're going to be, interesting. If you know what national months are coming up, So, but I'm excited about May. I'm excited just because of the comments that we've gotten lately on, I didn't even
say you're going to do a 180 in June.
What do you mean? 180 in June.
I know what national month that is.
Okay.
Okay.
That we're not doing that. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
We're not doing that. No. That's not an everyday item, people. Gotta
There are
keep with
certain everyday items involved.
I heard
I can't even make a comment. That'll get me kicked off. I can't even.
Who was it? I'm not even gonna bring that up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna bring that up. I'm just saying everyday items, not, I know St. Joe's gonna be upset with this, but we are not gonna do sex toys as an everyday item. We're just not gonna do it. We're just not gonna do it.
For some people, it is.
It happens.
Well, not on the Stupid History Minute. It's a family show.
Yeah.
It's a family show. So if you want the history of the fucking dildo, I'll do it here.
I'm all right.
Yeah. So, see? Beebs is the pulse of America. Okay, he's the Bible Belt. He's the demographic that we're going after. He's the pulse of America.
Am I?
You are.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
No idea.
So, if it's not approved, but St. Joe, you're gonna have to wait a little longer on your series on airports that you've been bugging me for at least 2 years about. It will happen in 2024. It will happen in 2024.
Oh, my God.
That sounds like an interesting series.
It is, and we're going to do it later on when people traveling is more relevant.
More prevalent?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because people don't travel at all.
Well,
Jackass.
maybe you give him a few episodes to listen to while he's in Paris.
He's have plenty to listen to while he's in Paris.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, he's have plenty to listen to while he's in Paris. Especially when he lets me take Nailed It over, while he's gone.
I got something special planned for Nailed It.
Yeah, and I'll be like, look, motherfuckers, he doesn't cuss, but I do.
I got some fun stuff planned for that time.
I will say this about baseball. I think it's bullshit when the Braves are on the West Coast and I have to stay up to 1 o'clock in the fucking morning. The only reason I stayed up is because last night, Max Fried and whatever his name was for the Mariners both of them pitched a no-hitter into the 7th. And so the Braves got a hit. And then, so Max Fried still, they take him out because he was like way over 100 pitches. Braves get into the 8th inning with a no-hitter, and I look at the soon-to-be world-famous wife. It's like, there's absolutely zero way I can go to bed right now.
What's funny is I got a text from you at like 11:30 at night last night.
Yeah. Sorry.
I didn't
realize what time it was.
Out.
Yeah,
I was passed out. I said, I hate when the Braves are on the West Coast.
Yeah. Because they like what is it?
I woke up at 6:30, and that's what I saw on my phone.
Yeah, it's 10:08, and they're in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Oh,
yeah, right
nice.
now. Yeah,
brutal.
So after this, we got a whole ball game to watch.
Nice.
How about that? All right. Well,
good timing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything new going on in the studio? We got a new podcast.
Yeah,
Rosie's
Rossi's.
Sorry.
Yeah. Her clubhouse.
Rossi's Clubhouse.
For those of you that don't know, Rossi is a part of Movie Lovers Unite, and she lives out in California and has a YouTube program that interviews just entertainment folks, and you can find the link at unfpod.com, and I checked it out. There's a cool trailer there out on unfpod.com, and go check her out. But congratulations to her for branching out, starting a new thing.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
So I do want to give a shout out to the boys, to Jay Burke over at the With Jay Burke show, and the boys over at the Story Of podcast. I was fortunate enough to talk to both of those, and I don't know if you caught it, but they gave me a nickname.
What?
The Godfather.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
they
God.
did. I was wondering how long it would take until you said something about it, too.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, but I do appreciate them having me on. It was a lot of fun to talk to both of them to talk about on the Story Of, talk about history other than a lamp and a paperclip, and to talk about to Jay Burke, because he's one of the Beebs. You've got some competition with easiest person to talk to.
You know what, man? We recorded an episode, me and him, and you're gonna want to listen to that one, I think. But that was an easy conversation. I will give you
Has
that.
it already been published?
It's coming out late. Like he record. I assume this is how he does. I assume he records all his episodes and then publishes them in seasons. So like that episode won't come out till later. But we recorded that episode, and he asked me a bunch of really good questions, and then I asked him a bunch of. It was like you were listening to a conversation between two guys he's really easy to talk to.
Is it religious in nature?
Yeah. But and I mean that might bother you. It may not.
It doesn't bother me. You know what bothers me is I'm not gonna say who, but somebody knew another person that was doing a podcast and sent me the link. Said, "Hey, can you listen to this and give your feedback?" And so I did. And now I forget to unfollow the said podcast. So now I've listened to like 5 episodes of said podcast. So I've got a really good fucking opinion about it now. And a new episode just came out today, about something about your raising your boys and girls going to church or something. And the title was, whoever titles them knows how to title the episodes, because it gets you to press play, but then it's the same old thing. I forget to unfollow them, so they pop up on my CarPlay.
I'm saying you gotta listen to them.
Well, I mean, if you start it and then, maybe I'll just, listen a little more. And I've got everybody, normally that just pop up, and I'll listen to you, and then I just let it go to the next one. I'm in the car a lot, so.
Yeah. All right, well, hey, are we wrapping it up here?
Yeah, I think so. St. Joe, you got anything else there, Chief?
No.
You sure?
I don't have anything. Yeah.
You sure? Well,
Yeah,
we want to thank everybody for listening tonight and not commenting yet again. It's the 3rd fucking week in a row that no one's commented. We do want to let you know that tomorrow.
It's gonna be May.
And for St. Joe, for Beast, my name is Kev. Go see our friends over at unfpod.com. There's something for everybody over there. So once again, for St. Joe, for Beast, my name is Kev. We'll catch you guys next week.
Catch you on the flippity flop.